Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dota 2 Champions League. We are back with the final match of the night. It's Friends versus Alliance. We had a remake earlier on. I think there was a misclick, whatever the case. We are back in the game. Alliance with their new 5-man roster. A sweet stack that could be. We'll see if they do live up to fans' expectations. We have Friends on the other camp with Afterlife, No Fear, Yoku, Always Wanna Fly, and Undershock. Names that should not be too unfamiliar to you if you are a fan of the CIS region. I personally am because of the crazy way they do out. They put out team fights. I'm Lysander, gonna be joined here by Mike Loris, and we would like to thank Epic Esports Events as well as Face It for running the Dota 2's Champions League. A big shout out to those guys for helping us host events like these. And yeah, I'm gonna let you talk now. What are your thoughts on this matchup? And I can get why you say Friends are a strong stack now.
Yeah, they definitely are new, not quite as new as the Alliance crew as a team, but they have a decent showing at the last BTS series event. There's I don't think they won it, but they had a pretty good run through it, and when looking at the names, you'd certainly understand why. This is definitely going to be an interesting one. Alliance, they have so much experience on their side, but it's just a question of how well do they actually play together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Loda EGM obviously played together quite a bit, and maybe they stood in with the rest of the other three who have also played together a lot. But it is a matter of how much they trust each other's calls and whatnot, and they may not be as experienced as friends in that regard. So it really is going to be a little bit of a question mark there, but hey, we have ourselves a draft. Let's see how this new alliance crew is going to fare. And this is steep competition as far as the best of ones are concerned. Friends versus
Mm-hmm.
alliance is it's one of the harder games to win for both of these two sides. So we'll see how that's gonna go. But Faceless Void, ET, Axe Kunkka, lots of melee heroes. The team fighting is going to be so heavy in the positioning.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of sad that it's BO1 in single elimination because one of these teams will have to go after this. So it'll be I feel like it'll be kind of better if it is them meeting in a BO3. So I guess the randomization of the tables are just sad, a sad coincidence. But yeah, banning Warlock as well. I don't know. Okay, there has been no information about this new alliance stack yet, right? They haven't played any
Mhm.
funny stuff. Probably just scrims, probably, right? It's likely because I mean
Yeah.
this Warlock ban does seem really out of nowhere, right?
There are a couple of teams that are dabbling in
eHome
Warlock,
did run
picking it
Warlock
up
at TI.
occasionally, but as far as a consistent pick, he's just not there yet. And I think just by virtue of having a such a heavy cooldown on his ultimate, that is always going to make him kind of a more fringe situational pick. But if you're looking at both these two teams and what they're actually planning on doing, the team fight is really when everything is going to be super chaotic. And then if you want chaotic offering is one of those just trump cards that is going to stop everyone else from doing anything. And you got to be proactive against the Warlock, much like how you have to be proactive against the Faceless Void. So
Mm-hmm.
it is going to be something that friends would have had to play very differently in order to counter. So I could understand the ban, although
I
I'm not
think
really sure if it
it's
was super high chance
definitely
against
something
team.
inspired from a scrim because I mean Warlock does all the things you mentioned, but there are other heroes that do that as well. So there's got to be a strat revolving around this. I have a feeling, but can't be too sure. But you talked about the melee hero strategies and how do you think Alliance are gonna fare now that they don't have their good old bulldog to help them bait out the Prophet bands, bait out the Broodmother bands, even the Lone Druid bands in some aspect of it. Alliance always had that playing card where they could rely on teams to be afraid of the Prophet, afraid of the Lone Druid, and now that they don't, they're kind of like a mix of Ninjas in Pajamas, Cole, complexity. I mean, and the
Yeah.
old alliance. This team is going to be very different. I feel.
It is, of course, nice to have that player that demands that respect. Uh, not to take anything away from Jonas fan, but
Yeah, he played good
he's
when he
not
stood in.
bulldog levels of respect, and there are very few players in the game who actually are to that level. But we'll have to see as it happens in this game to see how well he jives with Loda, how well he actually
Hmm.
jives with the mid lane and limb. So for friends though, Keeper of the Light. I mean, if you're expecting lots of melee heroes, Coddle is a pretty good one to have, especially if you're able to funnel mana into an ET or a different core safe lane hero early on, just lock down the lanes.
PL?
It seems like Friends have a pretty safe opening.
PL comes to mind? No, but PL against X is kind of bad, so probably not PL. Mm, we did see a Pudge Coddle the other day, which probably won't happen this time, but you can never be too sure. The first day of casting yesterday showed us 2 games of Pudge, and it was in a row as well, so that was quite the treat. And if Friends pull out the Pudge here, I would be really surprised.
It's
But I don't.
probably
It's not really a. I don't know.
it's
I
probably
don't.
more likely to be someone like a Luna, like that
Mhm.
type of hero, or Morphling.
Yeah, Morphling does make a lot of sense. Luna with Faceless Void is a combo to be feared. It's one of the only times I think Luna might actually consider going Aghanims first because of how much power
Mhm.
you can channel into that Chronosphere. But Luna's actually pretty decent against melee heroes as well.
And Witch Doctor isn't really going to change that all too much.
Hmm.
It is going to be just a stun set up for Kunkka. Not the best stun in the world, but it will be something. With extra sustain on top, it's maybe not as great as the Keeper of the Light is for Friends, but yeah, I do think that going for a kind of a mana intensive safe lane hero would be in Friends' best interests. Alliance ability to fight early is okay in small bursts. The axe is always going to be pretty darn good there, but Mirana, very similar hero, can accomplish many things when being constantly fed
This
mana,
is a
although
mid Mirana.
odds are they'll be playing in different lanes.
This feels like a mid Mirana. Is it a mid Mirana?
Yep.
Probably a mid Mirana. It could still be roaming in some really rare circumstance, but it's probably gonna be a mid Mirana here, and it does beg to question what alliance will pick up against this Mirana. Mirana isn't exactly the strongest laner, but Elder Titan coupled with her arrow could potentially make it a more threatening lane and force alliance to a more defensive mid because I mean committing a witch doctor to that lane is not ideal. So you really want to be able to pressure the void with 2 supports instead of having to pull one to guard your mid. That's assuming void goes off lane though.
Yeah, I think it's
Friends are leaving
more
things
the
really
most
ambiguous
likely
now.
scenario is Mirana mid at this stage, but even then, like setting up
Yeah,
with an Elder Titan roaming in is entirely feasible and may or may not catch someone on Alliance off guard. Alliance, their roaming towards Mirana mid is not going to be the easiest until they get X marks on Kunkka with the
ooh,
cast, then it's very possible. But they'll just go ahead and
one of
go
the
for
Loda
that
favorites.
Juggernaut.
Yeah,
Seems like an
Loda's really good on
okay game
this.
for Jug.
I think it's one of Loda's more successful heroes. Juggernaut is, I think, one of Loda's favorite heroes to play, and we'll see how he does. Well, whether or not he goes mid on the Juggernaut or not, because sometimes Jug mids, and it's kind of why this patch is so good because it's very hard to read the draft from the get go. On the other hand, it does leave a lot of flexible options in terms of laning, and I don't know. I think it'll be great to see a Loda Juggernaut. It's just where he decides to put it. There is some weakness with regards to the Faceless Void locking him down, but apart from that, they don't have a lot to throw into that Chrono to punish him. And Friends, they do have to pick up one more hero to actually fight this Juggernaut. And they ban out the Ursa Warrior. Actually, I would have thought maybe they considered that to deal with the Jug.
It would definitely wouldn't have been the worst thing. I think Friends have also picked that up in the past, and in the
Mhm.
recent past
Ursa
as
is a
well.
counter
But
to Jug, so
mhm,
it's a good
it's
counter as
pretty
well.
good up against just any melee hero, Ursa. But
Oh, I think I'm smelling a Sven. Is there a Sven? There is not Ben, so it's probably a Sven. Sven is
Sven.
extremely good against Juggernaut because his War Cry pretty much just disables Omni Slash's damage. Like it doesn't makes it do absolutely nothing in the team fights. And Sven is very strong against Juggernaut. Just a few seconds alone with Jug, and he can just take him out with 2-3 swings. And Ursa is really good against Sven, so I think I'm really moving towards a Sven here for Friends. Alliance, if they see this coming, they should really angle their last pick to deal with it. Maybe grab up a last minute Beastmaster or something, to lock down this one. Viper
Mhm.
comes to mind. I think Viper is excellent against Sven as well. So we'll see what Alliance do. Friends do have that last pick to make the final decision. Either way, Puck is going to be going to be their choice here, and we'll have to see how the Puck does against his lineup because it's a pretty scary one. If it is
The
Sven.
Drow
Sven
Ranger is
Sven
still in
works well
pool
with keeper,
also,
right? Yeah,
which
Sven works
would
well
have
with keeper.
otherwise been at least something to consider for friends. If the puck wasn't picked, I think it's still kind of viable, but not as good as it was uh, pre this puck pick. But yeah, it definitely does seem like Sven is going to be a pretty
Hmm.
attractive hero for the friend side. A little bit too much damage now for someone like a Luna to take to the field up against a puck and a Juggernaut. You just have the risk of getting insta-killed with no real defensive supports on your side.
Yeah.
So I think that ship has pretty much sailed. Uh, yeah, Alliance, though, they have their initiator right now in the puck, and it is going to be puck and axe eventually to get their blink daggers. Being initiation heavy, being positional based on both of these two teams, this puck is really gonna have a pretty decent time. There aren't that many answers, good answers, to a puck on the friends squad.
Sniper. Kappa. Well,
Sniper, sniper up
it could
against
work
puck.
with Faceless Void. I mean, it's obviously not going to happen, but it could happen. But I think Sven is the logical pick here. It's good against Jug. It's strong. It gives you the armor you need. It works well with Keeper because you have mana problems. I think it's excellent. Apart from the little bit of anti-synergy. So they go with the
Ooh, they
Luna
are
anyway.
going
So
there.
it was either going to be a Luna or a Sven to combo with this Faceless Void Chronosphere. So I'm excited. We have both Moon Warriors and both of them, and I'm hoping Luna goes for Aghanim Scepter because it's one of my favorite Aghanims to watch. But most of the pros let me down. Let's go for the Dragonlance Ring of Aquila
Mhm.
Manta style build. So I'm keeping my fingers
There,
crossed. I've got a real thing for Aghanim upgrades.
clearly, there's a lot of upside here. Like being able to buzz through a kind of a low health hero like Puck with Eclipse is very, very attractive. But at the same time, are you actually gonna land an Eclipse on a Puck? Are you actually gonna land an Eclipse on a Juggernaut
Well,
without
with
him
Chrono,
spinning
you will land on
beforehand?
everything. So that's the whole
Yeah,
thing.
that's true. But like then you're building your Luna 100% reliant on Void. It's probably not going to happen, but in this game, it is probably a little bit more viable than in
Hmm.
others. I will
Yeah,
give you that.
Chrono makes Eclipse a lot better. The Aghanim's Eclipse a lot better. But we'll see if Yoku does decide to go for it. But we're going to run through the teams very quickly. I will take Alliance. On the Raiden side, they are going to be running Limp on that Puck. We have X played by Jonathan Fan. We have EGM on that Witch Doctor. It's kind of a classic for him at this point. Hanskin going to be playing the support Kunka, wearing the Sing Sing set, actually. And my favorite uncle, Uncle Knox, Mr. Loda on Juggernaut. Hater of memes, and he's going to be leading the charge here with his team. Going to try and get an early first blood on friends who are running Yoku on the Luna. Faces Void, played by Afterlife. Elder Titan, played by No Fear. We have Keeper, played by Always Want to Fly, and Potom by Undershock. So
Oh,
they're gonna
Yoku.
try and find a kill here. Yoku, oh, he's gonna run away, spinning around, doesn't expect the gank, and he does have high movement speed, but I don't think he's getting out of this one. So a very quick kill here from Mr. Loda. Well, that's gonna be quite the start here for Loda. He's gonna get that early gold, and yeah, the early smoke paid off. So friends lose their hard carry. It's not too big a deal as he had no gold to lose, and it was before the creep spawn. So it's more
But
gold going
this
the
is
way of
actually going
Alliance
to
than
have
anything.
some pretty dire circumstances because they're deciding to keep Loda and company up towards the top lane and
Okay.
put Jonas Fan on the bottom lane. So the Axe is going to have a good time. Jonas Fan is
Hmm.
very comfortable on this hero. But
And Void
the
can't
matchup
fight an
of
X.
hero who just got first blood versus hero who just gave first blood,
Hmm.
especially with Juggernaut getting that gold, he's going to be that much closer to Boots. He can apply that much more pressure to this bottom lane of friends. Alliance are going to try to go in for this Luna early and often, and it seems like Always Want to Fly is in a terrible spot right
Oh
now.
no.
What are you doing there,
Round
dude?
two. Okay, he got the ward. That's $100 he's about to lose. And yeah, this lane already not starting right, and Loda getting 2 quick kills here in this early lane. So Yoku gonna start this game on the back foot as his support collapses forward. And this Keeper Elder Titan dual lane is not the best in dealing with this pressure. And as I say that, the Illuminate does a huge amount of damage, and No Fear goes in with the staple, looking to clamp down on this aggression. And this pull to the side there allows Alliance to get a lot of that space. The cast comes in, and oh, Alliance, Loda does have the mango looking for it. The Torrent is ready, but Loda is taking quite a bit of damage and doesn't want to risk getting stapled to the ground. So it's going to hang back for a bit and curb on that aggression.
Well, the more boring lanes got bottom lane, Axe going up against Faceless Void. Afterlife should still be getting Farm, although in a lot more danger than and vice versa. Towards mid lane should be Puck with a slight advantage over Undershock, just by virtue of having a little bit more base damage. So it should be pretty much a wash in both of those other lanes. But going for this offensive tri-lane is going to be enabled by the fact that Yoku doesn't have any defensive supports on his side. Like El Titan and Keeper of the Light, they're very mediocre when forced to play defensively. The Stomp is alright, but of course doesn't do anything up against the Blade Flurry. If you had a Shadow Demon, then this would be just such a different lane for the Alliance squad to try to combat up against. But Friends having gone for this Luna, a very, very soft hero, they're kind of paying the price for that right now.
To be honest, I think if they had a Sven, it would be even rougher for them in the laning with this tri-lane pressuring. Do you think it's the case? Because, I mean, Luna, at least she's ranged. She may be able to throw in a glaive or two, harass with Lucent Beam, whereas Sven will have to run in to get those last hits that he wants. And, EGM's going to take a huge chunk of damage there. The Illuminate and the Spirits. Pretty cool combo, I gotta say.
I mean, there's not really many heroes that can battle 1v1 up against Blade Flurry unless you're actually looking at someone like Ursa, who, you know, is obviously not going to happen, was banned out. But a different hero would have a little bit more of an ability to recover. If Luna is unable to get off to a good early start, she doesn't really recover that well. Farming Ancients is kind of viable with Moonglaze, but not nearly as good as some other heroes. So it is kind of all in. But, you know, she's getting a decent amount of gold right now, and Loda is actually not. He's 2 kills above Yoku, yes, but not as much as CS, so this lane is actually breaking a little bit more even for Friends than I would have really expected.
Yeah, and even takes a Thunderclap and gets stomped as well. Loda has to be careful there, taking quite a huge amount of damage to Lucent Beam. And Loda has to be careful, but EGM does heal him up with the Green Lantern. And Loda popping a second salve now in this game. He will get it disabled by the range creep, but it's not too much lost as he has healed back most of his HP. So now they're going to get some creeps under the tower, get some space done. Lim has been taking a lot of damage with this Mirana, trading rather, well, unevenly against this Mirana here. He had to force out his salve earlier on because I think he took an arrow early game. So overall, the CS is pretty even, although the Mirana has had a lot more denies than the Puck there. So he is going to be behind on levels. Yeah, he's still level 4. The Mirana's already level 5 and then some. So he'll have that level disadvantage for now. It's not going to be that big deal unless he gets hit by an arrow, because Mirana doesn't really have that power spike that she has compared to the Puck, who has that coil that could add to a solo kill. So we'll see. Afterlife, he's doing okay. I thought he would get crushed more than he currently is.
Yeah. It is just a naturally bad matchup being any melee hero versus Axe, but Faceless Void isn't really in trouble of dying because the damage from Axe comes out very quickly. He can't disable you without you being able to time walk unless you get super unlucky and get dunked. So Afterlife should be just fine, but he is falling behind slightly behind the Axe, who, again, Jonathan Fan plays or has played a lot of Axe in his past days on other teams. Stomp towards top lane, gonna set up for a 2-man Illuminate. Or 0 man as they all dodge
EGM, very low now, but the X marked the Luna, and now he's in trouble. No Fear, taking a lot of damage in that spin as well. They do finally get the Witch Doctor, so EGM will trade his life for the Luna. But No Fear, he's not going to be able to save his carry there, as Loda is able to dish a lot of damage with 10 stick charges and a face boots. He's adding a lot of DPS to this lane. It's not a lane that Friends can deal with right now.
Oh, mid lane Undershock.
Oh, Undershock.
Left out of the coil.
Yeah.
And that, of course, snaps it, takes the extra damage,
Solo
goes
kill.
down solo to Limp. Yeah, this is not looking that great for Friends. Now that the Juggernaut has his phase boots especially, the really only defensive play that Friends have is Luna try to outrun the Juggernaut, and that's not really going to be viable any longer. So, you know, mid lane now firmly in Limp's hands, and top lane Alliance still controlling that pretty decently, even roaming around a little bit, which is going to put Loda at some sort of risk, but definitely not enough. Oh, someone's CPing in. Undershock, not like this. Rip.
Yeah, gets X marked and brought down, but oh, dropping very low is Hanskin. And jaunting out of there is the Puck, and nearly losing his life there as Lim disjoints the tower aggro and nearly getting Skunka killed, but still, they get another kill there as he TPs in, and this gets burst down once again. So, rough stuff for Friends. I mean, they still could recover. It's not out of the question just yet. There is still the big Eclipse Luna combo that you could be looking for. There's a lot of damage to be done. Right now, It's about stabilizing. You know, that first blood was
Lot.
unfortunate, and okay, now losing the void there is gonna be even worse. And they get dunked. Loda already rotating down there, getting more kills for his team, but they do make space up there for the Luna. They abandon it completely and look to take a tier 1 bottom. So we'll see what can be done. No Fear comes down with his spirits, and we'll see if they can actually push the wave in spite of that spirit aggroing the creep wave back. Loda doesn't have his Omni Slash just yet. So far, the L Titan's still holding back on his spirit, not wanting to show himself. This push isn't as scary as it looks just yet. But Mirana starting 0-2 had a pretty decent start against the Puck there, but now it'll be a little bit more rough. Oh no! The Loda Sphere in a Loda game, but not played by Loda. Afterlife, we're gonna walk away embarrassed to the bottom lane.
Everyone gets one, right? Everyone gets one massive whiff, and that's his, so no more for you, Afterlife. But for right now, Alliance, they don't really have the most pushing power. Juggernaut is, at this point, only kind of okay at doing that, but they have so much kill power, and they have friends on the back foot with a Luna comp. If you can keep Luna behind, then you're usually going to be winning the game, and Lions are doing just that. They're getting a lot of gold on Jonas and Fan as well, which will apply even more pressure in the upcoming minutes of this game. So Friends kind of getting screwed over just by virtue of picking weaker lanes, or picking weaker laning heroes than what Alliance are actually going to throw at them. And that is it's just a concern for the draft, I suppose. So Alliance getting a lot of advantage early on just by virtue of having better heroes, and they're still making good rotations. Always want to fly run to the Axe, but it's like Axe doesn't really want to play with him, not by himself.
Doesn't want to get mana leaked as well. It's going to be inconvenient. Oh, Limp jumps forward aggressively. There is a double damage on the Mirana, so didn't really want to take that fight there. And Raindrop can be expiring now. The 5 charges are down. Oh, Juggernaut looking for a kill. He does have the Mango into Omni Slash. Afterlife does have the jump. So there's always that option of getting out of dodge if he wants to. But Yoku has the Eclipse now. So a good teamfight ultimate. So Alliance will have to take this into consideration if they want to go for any dives.
Actually, sheer jungling the Axe right now. He'll poke out occasionally, look for heroes that are pushed out too far, but he's got the Vanguard, so clearing the jungle is perfectly safe for him, and it's actually Hanskin up towards top lane who's getting the most benefit now. Level 2 Tidebringer, yeah, and he's going to be going for level 2 X. Pretty standard stuff for Kunkka. Boat comes up soon. And then Boat Coil, especially with the Veil coming out on Limp, it will be Alliance to try to force the hand of Friends, make some really aggressive plays, and yeah, it might cost them the top lane tier 1 tower. Luna's definitely going to push that should Alliance group up, but once Alliance do group up, Friends are kind of on the back foot without having first landed a giant Chronosphere. They have to get a big Chronosphere if they're going to handle that.
Yeah, hopefully that miss was the last one, but we'll have to see. Afterlife, that first chrono is definitely not going to be good for his resume. He's got 30 seconds till he can try for another one, and we'll see if that one is more successful. Meanwhile, Undershot still playing cautiously in the middle lane. He doesn't want to get caught by Limp and his coil again. And I think it looks like they'll be going for it. Is he going to leap away from it? Yes, he is. They're going to start with the Torrent. It's going to miss the tail of the cat, and there'll be no kill there. So Limp going to waste his ultimate. It's going to be put down for 70 seconds. Limp, don't get hit by the arrow. Nope, he will jaunt away. The melee creep, or the range creep, will pay for it instead. And Limp will be back to his farm mode as... well, the Axe does have that Vanguard. They will look for Yoku. They're stretching really far. The level 2 Axe mark not gonna be in range for it, and the Hunger gonna be applied there on the Luna. Not gonna be enough. It will do some slight harassment, but nothing really to write home about. Afterlife does have the Chrono again. They could look towards Loda, but I don't know if they can kill him. They're bringing down the big guns though. Luna is coming, so
everyone's coming.
Gotta be careful there.
They want Chrono into tower.
Yeah, Chrono into
if they
tower
catch
with
Chrono
Luna.
on Loda, he's probably dead. Very same EGM is screwed as well. I want to say it's impossible for Afterlife to miss this Chrono, but that may just end up making him miss.
EGM might break the smoke. There you go. They're going to go Chrono in, but I don't know about this one. They're going to stun. They're going to hit him. One more hit will do the job. Does he get it? Yes, they do. They take him out. The Keeper does do the damage. Afterlife taking a huge chunk of damage to the Silence as well. They take him out, but Hanskin out of mana and time dilated at this point. The Luna has not expended her Eclipse just yet, so Chupi running behind there. Yoku behind the lines. There he is. A blast. EGM taking a chunk of damage. and has to be careful there. Fearing the Moonlight Shadow will drop a sentry ward there, and the Moonlight will come. The Coddle charges up the blast, looking for Hansken, but Yoku just gonna be pushing forward there. Nothing too sneaky about this, and looks like they are backing off for now.
This is pretty reasonable for Alliance. Not the best, of course, to lose Loda, but they do take the Chronosphere off the table again. They're pushing up top lane, and yes, they
always want to fly. Yep, walks right into the Omni Slash, but no, dodges that. But always want to fly will still die to that Blade Fury. So Aloda gets a revenge kill for his death. It's 3-1 now. Still farming decently well. What item build do you think he would go for? Is there gonna be chances of a Battle Fury here, or is he gonna go for something more early game oriented? You know, go for that drum, maybe the Yasha Diffusal Blade that we're so used to seeing from
yeah, I
Juggernauts.
think it's probably just going to be a very heavy stat game for the Juggernaut. I mean, he has the Axe and the Puck to initiate for him, so as long as he's able to get in without that many issues and survive being jumped, then he should be just fine. So I would expect a Yasha build up here for Loda. I mean, he's already doing incredibly well for himself, near the top of the net worth chart, only behind his friendly, who's Axe, who's almost at Blink Dagger. So, I mean, the Alliance have had control of this game so far. They'll have even more control once that comes up. And it looks like Limp has decided not to go Veil first. Blink Dagger first for him. They're ready to force some fights. And Friends are not exactly what I would call tanky heroes. Really, none of them are. So a Blink, Silence, Coil, and that target is probably dead.
Yep, and Yoku is still held on to his Eclipse. Didn't use it just yet. He is going Dragonlance, and not any signs of an Aghanim so far, so I'm slightly saddened by this. But here comes a big gank here from Alliance, the Hanskin EGM Limp squad coming in, looking to lynch a target, and I think it's looking to be Void. He does have that Chronosphere, and the X mark will come. There's your Chronosphere. He is looking for it. There it is. The ultimates all thrown onto him as well. Just 3 ultis for 1 Void. So the team fight ultimate is down. He does have a buyback though. That is the catch there. And if they dive, they could be heavily punished for this one. Yoku gonna get recalled there by his Coddle, and no fear will be left to the Wolves. And by Wolves, I mean the Captain Hanskin. Gonna throw out the Torrent. It's gonna be missing completely. No fear runs through the jungle. He might get out of this. Is he gonna get out there? It's gonna be a stomp. No, he gets the Spirit on going. One more right click. Yep, the Hunger will get him. So it was close, but he nearly got out of there. It's now 10-2. They take the tier 1 tower. They're looking for it. Yoku just plunking away at it. There are no TPs so far. They look like they're gonna give away this tier 1.
I mean, that's not that bad, Friends. They minimize the casualties. Oh, they find Undershock over towards mid lane. Yank him back in with the X. And take down the Mirana. Yet another kill for this Alliance squad.
0-3 now, this Alliance. I mean, this Mirana.
They haven't been able to use their tools for pickoffs. Like, no arrows have been thrown. No significant arrows have been thrown for kills. They've used Chronosphere once to get a kill, once on the Juggernaut. And now it's up again. They should be looking for those every single time. But Alliance, they just have a little bit more uptime. Now they have a Blink Dagger on Axe. Axe and Puck can do the exact same thing, set up for kills on really any given hero. And for Friends, they take down a tower. I guess that's kind of nice, but they need to have vision up, like, everywhere. But right now, the vision is coming up for the Radiant, like, up towards top lane. That's being watched by an Observer Ward. Mid lane, same exact thing. And bottom lane, yeah, there's an Observer Ward there, but that's a little bit irrelevant, since I don't expect Friends to stay on this bottom lane. So Alliance see everything, and they have so many tools to just get easy kills.
Yeah, the lineup from Alliance is, I mean, they're pretty staffed at this point. They have to stick together, make sure they don't get caught out by the X marks. And I don't know, man. I don't know what they can really build to actually offset this. The Elder Titan, I felt that he didn't do enough in the early game compared to, if you compare it to Kai P's game earlier. Bamboo was just all up in the face of the enemy mid and just constantly landing stomps, just running in, punching him. And I felt that No Fear didn't do the same thing for his mid laner. You know, it could have harassed Puck a little bit more, but because of that pressure up top, he wasn't able to leave his lane maybe to help out his middle, and as a result, that allowed Lim to claw slowly ahead with a couple of mistakes on, well, Undershock's part. But overall, this is a very rich Alliance lineup. Hanskin, the support, Kunkka already up with an armlet available for him, even opting for the face boots because of how well he's been doing.
Yeah, it's the pretty standard Landon builds. Yeah. Play like a support, but itemize like a carry. I call it the Landon build because he's the first person I saw do it. I don't know who actually is the first.
I
but,
think
you know,
Attacker
whatever.
was the one that did it first. I first saw the
Oh, really?
armlet on him. He has been doing it forever.
I haven't seen him play it in officials though, so
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I don't
But I'm
know.
pretty sure that most people, if they're looking towards Kunkka, they'll probably check out Attacker, who has only played Kunkka all his life. So
Oh, Undershock top.
yeah, is he
Attacker
gonna
plays
die
mid though,
again?
doesn't he? Limp's going for Undershock pretty aggressively,
Moonlight
but
keep things alive. But Kunkka is in trouble there. He's gonna get stomped, gonna be slowed down, and Yoku gonna send a crack right over and probably send him down. And Luna does end his killing spree. But Loda has got something to say about that, and Yoku, they might be in trouble here. Loda really wants to give this one a chase, always want to fly. Loda very aggressive there with the Yasha.
oh, Undershock got foiled.
Oh no, what's he still doing there?
I don't
Did
know.
he try to go for a kill?
His TP got cancelled by the coil, it must have been, and now he's dead.
Yeah.
So Limp
Very
must have
tilty
been, like,
game for him.
looking for the entire time.
Yeah, very hard game for him to play. And 12-3 now. Friends facing a 6,000 gold deficit. Limp is looking good with that Veil Blink, just being able to burst heroes down. And Mirana receiving end of that torture. 4th time now it's died solo. But he's getting close to his Aghanims, and once that comes online, you know what happens. Mirana just farms super duper fast. And yep, this Luna is doing the boring thing, going to Manta. So
Going for standard builds in 2016.
Standard
What a
builds.
bum.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, friends still have like more than enough in the way of tools to get kills. They have the Chronosphere, they have the Eclipse. We already saw how effective the Elf Titan was just then, although you know, the Kunkka was very wounded already. But they have all this burst power. They just haven't been able to find Alliance the same way Alliance have been able to find Friends. And that is because Alliance have Blink Daggers. They have the Puck, they have the Axe. Friends don't really have a similar type hero. It is Faceless Void, I guess, who's the closest to that. But he's been, you know, shut down pretty hard that he hasn't really been eagerly looking for those kills. And speaking of eagerly looking for kills, Yoku's gonna get jumped.
So much damage.
With.
Yeah, Yoku trying to get out of there. He's staying alive for now. No spins. So Jonas fan. Oh man, that was unfortunate. He didn't spin for a really long time, but in the end, they still get the kill there as they do swarm around the Luna. The smoke coming out from Limp just gonna be more than enough to keep the Luna in check. And Friends, they lose the hard carry again. Game's getting rough. They're gonna lose another tier 1 tower and a tier 2 even, I think, if Lions want to force it.
Yeah, Alliance have the level 1 Omni Slash right now, but they do get into a fight that's not really going to be incredibly impressive at this stage, but I doubt Loda's going to be jumped on first without Alliance first getting the jump on someone else. So they'll just take down the tier 1, leave, get more farm, get that crucial level 2 Omni Slash for Loda. And Friends, they aren't really making any large pushes of their own. They even get the mid lane tower denied from them. It's still going to give Mirana enough gold for the Ags, but man, you're this far behind. You can't afford to lose a tower like that as Friends.
Well, they are going to get that Aghanim's Starstorm, so we'll see if that makes a big difference in fights. I think it will, because there isn't a mech on Alliance right now, is there? No, there's no mech, so there is no burst heal that can come out. Yes, the Witch Doctor is great for offsetting the little tickles and pokes that they get in the laning phase, but huge nukes like Eclipse, Blast from the Coddle, double Starstorms could potentially take its toll. So we'll see if it does affect the next team fight. We're still sitting at a top net worth for X, but a top net worth, the second net worth actually, is going to Yoku. So it is still quite a big deal for him. Are they going to try and sneak a Roshan? That is so greedy. Well, not greedy, but risky, rather. Will they get away with it is the real issue here. And Undershot does have a double damage rune in his pocket, so they could be looking for an advantage that they never thought they had, as Alliance still in the dark about this one. Alliance going to be giving away this Roshan, and that's the dire side advantage for you. And the Luna adding that blessing with the Vladimir's offering is enough to out-tank this Roshan and get this Aegis for themselves. So they're going to be catching Alliance up by surprise for sure. 13-3, their Friends. Well, looking rough, but suddenly getting that Aegis, making things a little bit better for the next fight. So we'll see if it does make a difference.
They see the Moonlight Shadow though. They're converging up towards top lane, and they have more than enough damage to kill off a Luna twice here. If Alliance get the initiation off, they are a little bit hesitant, so that they'll fall back. But that's just the value of Vlad's on the Faceless Void. You go in and make it so that it's a very safe Rosh. You don't lose that much HP by doing it. Not the fastest Rosh in the world, could be faster, but it was still pretty darn quick, the DD and the Luna. So Alliance maybe just getting a little bit surprised by that, but it's nice for friends to have this Aegis. What can they actually do with it? Top lane tier 1
They
is
can
vulnerable.
leverage it.
They can try to do that, but there's nowhere else that's going to be a safe goal for them to use this Aegis to actually push with. Like, tier 2 bottom lane, that is something that Alliance can defend very easily.
We'll see. They're definitely gonna try and leverage this Aegis. And the Mirana TPing away does make me question if they actually want to take this tier 2 tower, because once the line sees that the Mirana is top, they know that, alright, you're not gonna double star them for this fight, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're gonna challenge this push in spite of them having an Aegis and always want to fly in the front lines there. Okay, well, there's a recall. I forgot about that. I'm stupid. But yeah, there we go. Oh, there's gonna be a blinding light. It's gonna catch her, but Jonas Fan immediately finds the Cardo, but a Chronosphere on 2. Loda right in the middle. Here comes the Eclipse. The combo wombo is ready, but there's the ship keeping things alive. Loda going in for the Omni Slash. There's an Aegis, and it's gonna alleviate a lot of that damage there. The ship saving lives there as we lose the Aegis and 2 other heroes. The Torrent is gonna be following up. No, the X Mark will keep her in place there. Yoku wasting his ultimate there, and a big ship there from Hanskin keeps the Alliance squad healthy. And well, Limp, oh, taking an arrow to the face there, gets a double starstorm and loses his life. Undershot getting some much needed revenge with a blind arrow. That was what you call dumb luck, I think.
Call that all skill, man. He knew that puck was there,
That
obviously.
was a scouting arrow.
But that's also like a big reason why we see Kunkka picked up very early on. That combo of friends was perfect as far as what they actually had to do. But everyone, including Loda, who's probably the most important hero on Alliance, got rummed up by the boat, and then they just were taking no damage. So they may not have that burst heal of Mechanism or anything similar, but friends unable to burst through when everyone gets 50% extra health. That's yeah, it's a big deal. It's a lot of damage you have to pump out to actually get those kills. So it is Alliance, yes, to lose the puck at the end, but still to come out ahead. They handle the Aegis incredibly well. And even though the initiation wasn't really the most devastating from the Alliance, it is still them to initiate on friends, getting that Keeper of the Light caught off in the front. So if a fight is going to go truly well for friends, they have to be the ones to make the first pick. And oh, no fear, running into the axe.
Yeah,
dodges the spirit, gets the call. Nice.
Yep. Wow, Coil? Okay. Lim really wanted that kill. I don't think the coil is necessary there, but
75-second cooldown. It's not that bad.
They got the kill, yeah. It's not too bad. They got the kill. Afterlife, gonna be back to farming. Gonna need that Blink Dagger for better initiations. And Luna, what you gonna build up next? Got the Manta, got Dragonlance. No more excuses. Time to get that eggs. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna be the case. The Kunkka ship does make it really ineffective. So we'll have to see.
Never know, man. Maybe he'll do it just for you.
Alright.
Or maybe he'll just cast the entire tournament without seeing a single Ags Luna, which I think is probably more probable.
Yeah. I used to miss the times where I think eHome used to do it with Ice on Clockwork or something. Oh, the arrow nearly hitting Jonathan Fan. The Lucent Beam gonna stall him up, and now there's the mana leak that everyone hates so much. But Kunkka getting caught out there. The pup finding the kill. Is he gonna find the kill though? The Chronosphere choke point there. Loda now getting caught. The crack comes in from the other side. It's gonna be so much damage. Loda falls. Jonathan Fan taking huge amount of damage as well. And this is why you don't fight in choke points. But it's still 3 heroes lost with the combo that came out from the Alliance squad as well. A lot of magic damage being thrown about. Limp trying to look for targets, but he will not be able to find them. No fear. Gets the spirits out. He will be trying for the stomp. He disables that spirit. He will get it. The arrow lands on Hanskin. Oh no! And another kill as the arrow connects on the Kunkka. The Starstorm connects on the puck. We got a wipe going the way of friends. Look at that team fight. Okay, the recap was a little bit screwy, but still, Undershock, the only one to remain after being the focus of Alliance in the last fight. Surprising for him, I think. He's going to be as surprised as everyone else. I'm the only one standing after that one. And that's going to be a lot of gold going his way.
You would think Loda, of all heroes, of all players, would know not to fight in a choke, because that does not work well for you in the end. But
oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, the small difference what happened in that fight versus the one on the bottom lane, it's a lot closer quarters for friends. So Eclipse, Chronosphere, the Earth Splitter from the Elder Titan, these all do a lot more damage. The boat came in, and that was a little bit later than the boat on the bottom lane, which came in very early when Loda was still at full HP. This time the boat came in, Loda was at like 100 HP, so 50% reduction, it doesn't really matter too much in the grand scheme of things. Alliance just went way too far for a Keeper of the Light, who at this
Yeah.
point has Mechanism. So
Yeah,
a
I think
little
I think
bit
Loda has to
trickier
understand
than
that
I'd expect.
his Juggernaut has 1,000 health, and outside of his Blade Fury, he's actually pretty squishy. Having gone for that Battle Fury build, it's more of a farm-oriented build. You know, you can do damage in short bursts, but you don't really want to take that kind of punishment. Now Loda getting caught there. The double Starstorm could be a death again, but Undershock underestimating the power of the Alliance Axe, and the Ghost Ship will go in. It's a short cooldown on that thing, so no fear. Well, it's gonna be brought down there. Tier 2 tower can be knocked over as well. I say no fear, I mean the Mirana. But
Yeah,
yeah,
mid
no fear
lane
is
is
on the
gonna
bottom lane.
die, but top lane Yoku's pushing that one pretty quickly. Pretty standard Luna things there. So Alliance, yeah, take a kill, kind of an evenish tower trade. Are they really gonna try to go for more? They're fighting up against Illuminate. That's not easy.
Yep, and that's one of the good things about picking the Caudal. You don't always have to worry about not losing map control early, because you have that option of a Caudal to hold the waves for you. And now you even have Yoku, who's almost at that BKB now. Despite that bad start, he is getting quite a bit of items.
Well, Faceless Void does have a Blink Dagger now. That is an incredibly huge item to at least give friends a chance of out-initiating the Alliance squad. It's not easy, but it's now possible. So Alliance, they've been running with this advantage of we can always initiate before friends, and that is, yes, still a high possibility, but the Chronosphere initiation kind of trumps anything else. There's nothing you can really do about that, except for not get hit by that in the first place. So
Yeah, you have to be careful with
friends with their
the
magic
Chronosphere.
damage, with their double star storm, they have a pretty good shot at getting the jump on, you know, any one or even two, three Alliance heroes.
We'll see now as Luna's illusions just constantly push out the glaives, doing so much damage to creep waves, and this tier 2 tower is going to be under contest as Hanskin comes forward with the armlet and tries to get some damage done, but he will actually lose a big chunk of his health to just illusions there. And it looks like it's pullback time for friends. They're not going to risk it without the Aegis. It's about to respawn. It's a minute respawn, so it's a quick one that they could possibly snipe again. But I think this time Alliance are going to be a little bit more wise and do a little bit of scout.
Keep heroes around here. Alliance, they have invested a lot in this initiation. If they are going to slow down the game too much, eventually Mirana and Luna are both going to start getting to just this terrifying point in the game where, you know, they'll have their BKBs, and they already have one of them on the Luna. Then Alliance just become a lot weaker of a team. Omni Slash still works. Everything else on the Alliance squad is going to be kind of ineffectual. So they do have to keep the pressure up. Oh no, not Keeper of the Light again. Poor guy.
Arrow though. Oh no, Loda walks into the arrow, the blinding light as well to keep him alive. Now the Chronosphere is gonna land on EGM. The Starstorm, the double Starstorm actually will knock out the Witch Doctor, so that's an ultimate down. Under shock though, getting caught out by that by that Pug. He's still surviving. Loda unable to go in there. He will immediately deploy that Omni Slash and get that bottom. But Loda, that double damage rune, not enough to inspire him to go after that Luna after all. But Afterlife getting destroyed there as he gets caught by the X Mark and the ship. So it is a successful fight going the way of Alliance. Again, the Caudal starting with that fight. 3 heroes lost there for friends, and this could be a Roshan in return for Alliance. Without the Witch Doctor, okay, but that's all they lost there, friends. They lost 3 heroes. Goldgraph was dipping a little bit earlier, but it's now back up in favor of Alliance. 5,000 ahead, and well, I'm not sure friends can contest this, to be honest.
Maybe they're just gonna mess with them. Keeper of the Light illuminates the Spirit from the Elder Titan. They can, you know, damage Alliance. I don't know if they can steal it unless they get really lucky here. But still, that was friends getting a little bit too far separated. Luna just didn't do anything in that fight. He just got played by Alliance. Everything's well and good. Chronosphere was good and landed on 2 heroes. They were able to take down 1 in that, but it just came a little bit too late and a little bit too far away from adequate help. Whereas Alliance, they were actually all there. They were all on the same game plan, and friends were a little bit too scattered. So Alliance, once again, win with the element of surprise. This time giving them the Aegis, which is, of course, going to make the next fight all the easier for them. Friends, I keep saying they still have the means of taking these fights, but Alliance are just playing better than friends right now.
Yep. And Lincoln's for the Mirana, so tired of getting X marked, gonna use that tech build to try and dodge that one. There are very few single targets that he is going to be looking to block. So the X is the most annoying one that he's trying to counter with that Lincoln Sphere. We'll see how successful he is, though. I'm not super convinced, but what I am super surprised about is Hanskin's farm right now. He's got a crit. He's got a armlet. It's almost like he was a mid Kunkka. And now the coil comes in, gets the Elder Titan, tries to TP out, but it's not enough as Limp with the Veil of Discord as well as the Gem. Gonna start clearing out the map here for Friends and Alliance. Are doing good in this debut match, in their debut match of their new roster, the Dota 2 Champions League. I'm pretty glad to be showing Alliance's first official game as a new squad. So, Friends, well, they're the punching bag right now. There are two kinds of new teams. I feel the ones that do very well at the start have that honeymoon period, or the ones that start off rough and they either don't make it ever, or they start clawing themselves back into shape after a couple of months or weeks, maybe even of getting used to each other.
Afterlife's being hunted.
Oh, yeah, he's getting hunted. He has a blink dagger though. Maybe he can get out of there.
Yeah, they're overthinking it. He's just running down the lane. He's still being chased by Limp. Still going. Visual? No visual. They're gonna cut the wave though, so this push from Alliance is gonna take a tier 2, but it's not gonna go any further.
The double Starstorm, very good at clearing out entire creep waves. Luna is sitting at 3,000 gold though. That's also something else to note.
CKB, Helm of the Dominator, Satanic build up?
Maybe more damage, I think. You need more damage.
No, Aghanims gives damage on Luna. Heard that was pretty good.
Yeah, I heard so too. But at this point, I think it's a little late for it. You want to get it early. So it's likely to be the Butterfly now.
Yeah,
Flutter
get that
good.
Stats, get those
The
evasion.
Good. Damage is very good. Makes your glaives really hurt in the team fights. But meanwhile,
like
Loda going
just chill.
Oh, is it Skadi?
I thought Alliance would be looking for more plays more aggressively right now with the Aegis of the Immortal. We actually had a point booster on Loda.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Aghanims or Skadi? Probably Skadi though.
Aghanims on Juggernaut is pretty darn old school. It's Skadi probably, that's just the safest thing. But Aghanim's Juggernaut isn't really bad. It's just that you generally get more value out of being just a more consistent right clicker.
I feel like if you go for the Aghanims, you just want to be able to stall as much time. You want to be that frontliner. Omni Slash just causes chaoses in the fight. Keeps you invulnerable for a while so that the targets are off you. Maybe the chrono goes elsewhere. Stuff like that. But that's a free tower. But at this point, I think either item would be suited for him. It's just how he uses the items to his advantage. But Skadi could very well be the thing here. Alliance are going to bang on the high ground here. They go for the Blinding Light. Spirit Stomp is going to stall them, but still looking rough. Luna pushing up top.
Got Undershock pressuring mid as well. Tags loaded with an arrow.
Oh.
A lot of damage. That's why you get an Eye of Skadi, because it gives you the health. It actually lets you not get insta-gibbed by making a careless play. Oh, bottom lane actually. You always want to flag a caught.
Yeah, well, he survived though. He does not have his mech ready. Yep, he will get brought down, but the Kunkka gets caught there by the spirit of the Elder Titan, and now Hansken gonna heal up the void. Is it gonna be enough? The Loosen Beam is gonna be there to receive him, and Smack comes out, tries to armor toggle. It's not gonna be successful. Double Starstorm once again, clearing out the wave, allowing Friends to really drag this game out despite being behind. I mean, Luna's been at the top net worth for a while now. Oh.
So I have Skadi for Luna. Stat up. Does
right.
Play pretty well with the Manta style. Very Butterfly-esque in that regard. And the slow up against the Juggernaut may or may not be the difference in a kiting battle. So there's definite value on Eye of Skadi on any hero. And these two heroes that now have it are no exception. But yeah, Friends are going to look to transition this into a little bit more of a late game phase. But they are bleeding out kills right now. The Lions are just finding more opportunities. And if the Lions can keep finding them, they'll be golden. But at a certain point, Friends are just going to have a lot of extra brute force over Alliance. Heroes like Puck and Axe typically tend to devolve just to initiators. Whereas everyone else from Friends will remain relevant in multiple ways. So I don't think this is actually a terrible spot for Friends to be in. The gold advantage, experience advantage is still in favor of Alliance technically, but not in a crippling way.
But this observer ward planted here on the top lane. I think they know what's up in the trees there, and they want to look to catch out Jonathan Fan. And right now, both teams just sitting back farming, no doubt waiting for their third Roshan to spawn. Coddle about to get his academics. Actually, he has it already. So this is daylight. It is time for him to shine. Pun not intended, but it is his time.
Nighttime coming soon though. Feels bad. Get Ags immediate nighttime. They're going to use these observers up on the cliff to think that they're safe, but Jonas Fan was right outside the range the entire time.
Once again, EGM melts, but Jonathan Fan this time might not be able to get out of there under shock. He does get stunned though. He's getting coil range, and then he gets stunned there. And now, no fear, gonna try and run away. The Eel Scepter is gonna set up a perfect Omni Slash. The Stomp will come out, anticipating it, but no, the Chrono comes in. Now the Glaives are gonna be bouncing through, but there is the boat, keeping them alive for a little bit. Loader dropping very low. The Glaives still find him, and Jonathan Fan still getting hit by Lucent Beams. Will beam him a third time thanks to the wards there. And now Hansken says my ship wasn't good enough, and he's gonna run away out of the fight there. Wasn't in time to get into those big cleaves, and wards on the high ground there did really pay off for the Dire side in the end. The Chronosphere once again catching the two cores of Alliance and taking them out. The gold graph is starting to resemble a more even match now as it dips below 5,000.
Oh, man, that Omni Slash from Loda was so bad. It did like the last hit on Mirana and then just immediately stopped. So I mean, you could chalk that one up perhaps to just miscoordination there from the Alliance squad. But if Juggernaut actually had the Omni Slash afterwards, Yoku would not have gotten a free run during the tail end of that fight. So a little bit of a botched fight there from Alliance, despite having almost perfect counter initiation, luring friends in, whether intentionally or not, based off of Friends Observer Ward coverage. They did not get on top of Yoku. Yes, they did get on top of the Mirana, and there is some value to that, but at this point, you can kind of afford to ignore the Mirana. You cannot afford to ignore the Luna. She just bought out like 3,000 gold worth of stuff. That's her butterfly.
You can't avoid the you can't not respect the Chronosphere. I feel like they just see the first hero. They see like, okay, Mirana goes up, X responds with a blink, and then Loda comes in immediately, gung ho and everything, trying to get that kill as well. And then they both get Chrono. It's happened more than once this game already. He does need to be more careful with his positioning. Otherwise, he could be giving away a lot of key kills as well as key item timings by just constantly dying. This Luna is already now a butterfly ahead of him, so just be very careful. Double damage for Loda, so it could work. He bottles it up, he holds it for another 2 minutes, so that's a strategic benefit they will have if the Roshan does respawn soon, and he does. So see if any team wants to really fight for it.
Well, right now it's going to be Friends to probably not play things super aggressively because Luna just bought out for the butterfly, does not have enough gold for buyback. I've seen so many teams just lose because they make this play, buy out a big item, then not have buyback. So if Friends get into a fight, it'll have to be very, very small scale, very safe engagements, like picking off a Witch Doctor or something like that, because a large scale fight will be just terrible for them. Yet, as I say that, they're going to push up top lane. Alliance are not in any position to defend up against this. They see that Roshan is empty. They see Undershock only. Are they really going to let the Mirana take this tower for free? Now, Limp's going to arrive and hold it, but they probably don't expect everyone from Friends to be on this top lane. Got a couple heroes over towards mid, and they're starting to yank him back in. They're pushing top and holding Rosh. Oh, never mind.
Oh no, Omni Slash goes out. There is Yoku getting hit there, but the Eclipse turns it around. He's very tanky with the butterfly, and now Loda getting slowed down by the Skadi. There's no running away from him. So much damage! Oh my lord. Loda goes down. EGM gets chronoed along with his buddy Jonathan Fan, and Afterlife just plinking away, but not enough damage. But EGM will fall. The Doctor is out. He's jumping forward there as the X, looking for a kill there. They have killed 3 up in the high ground, and Hansken as well as Puck looking for another kill here on Undershock. It's not going to be there, as Undershock is able to leap away. The Eel Scepter will be available. Nope, the Moonlight Shadow will keep things alive, but there is still a gem. So Undershock is still not out of the woods just yet. He's gonna juke. Oh, what? Why is there an instant pause? What's happening? TS died. What's TS?
Yeah, Limp sees him. Jonathan Fan has a blink, but he's out of range for a blink call. He could blink Battle Hunger. I think the play is blink Battle Hunger to pop the Lincolns, Yules him up, and then let the Axe get in position for a call.
Oh,
Or blinks the web
never
before he
mind.
can do any of that, and then it doesn't matter. That's good too.
Get this. Oh
Just
no,
let him
he has
go
to.
for it,
No.
dude.
Oh,
He
he
might just
sees
die,
him.
Limp. Not careful.
He's waiting for the Eels, I think. But I think he should be able to get out. Yeah, he has a blink. He has a leap. Yeah. Bought a lot of space for his team. They didn't take Roshan because of that. Well, they couldn't. But made a lot of space for his team. They chased him for the entire duration. Now he's the E-Blade. Man, where did that come from?
Yeah, I mean, Undershock is still farming. He is a
Boink.
Mirana with an Aghanim Scepter, and hey, now we have a Faceless Void with an Aghanim Scepter as well. No
I think
Luna
they
for
realize
30,
how good
but
this item is against a Void. I mean, against a Jug.
Ag's Faceless.
Yeah, Chronosphere is just really good with the
Dude, it's
short
insane versus
cooldown as well.
everyone. Literally OP item.
It is
Actually,
very
OP
strong on Void. 60-second cooldown, you can just pretty much throw it out every fight. And it's gonna be a rough game, but Daedalus now for Hanskin. Where has he been getting that gold? He's 8-3. This guy deserves a clap on the back, I think. That's for sure. His
With the
spot
farm that he
Kunkka.
has, it's like a Torrent and one Tidebringer, and you kill a Creep Wave. It's pretty darn efficient for Kunkka, and that's no small reason why you see Kunkkas go for this build. So you can, once you get a damage item, just any one damage item, it's so easy to get the next one and then the next one, and always want to fly. How do you keep
Oh,
on getting
the boat
caught?
starts. Always want to fly. As usual, doing always want to fly things. Afterlife just jumping into the boat. That was super unfortunate. He jumps right in after the boat hits, and that was it. He gets stunned, immediately chain stunned and brought down. And well, that's an Aegis, right? It's definitely an Aegis. EGM, all dropping low.
Glimmer Cape value, dude. Roshan, we cleared out by Alliance. Friends, they still have a Luna, but with no lifesteal, she can't really, 1v5. If she had Satanic, there would be at least a chance, but they have to give this up. They're split pushing in the meantime. This isn't incredibly quick for Alliance, but still, they constantly get the initiations to go their way, and with this Aegis, they'll have another shot at taking Raxus, because Alliance are starting to get to that point where they need to think about how they're going to bust up high ground, how they're going to get in before Luna and Mirana are just
How do you get
fully
up high
capable
ground?
of giving everyone.
All of the heroes on Friends are actually good at holding high ground. All of them. Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
It's hard.
They gotta wipe the Friends lineup outside of the base. I mean, if this was the power they had at the start, it might have worked out, but now that they're evenly matched, if you look at the gold, it's barely anything ahead, and Luna and Potom out farm the Juggernaut already, so I don't know, the items might not be enough from here from Jug.
It's gonna have to involve a kill on Mirana, perhaps.
Doesn't
But
have any stuns.
Puck used everything. Lincoln Sphere does get the Mirana enough time to get out of there, so it's gonna be just fine. They did miss a pretty big opportunity, also, Alliance, where they killed off the Luna with her having no buyback, and they were unable to push at all off of that because they were chasing the Mirana. That was the top lane chase. But
so it's all that little space. Oh,
Hands.
X-Mark. Keep things alive there. But Undershock. He's got an E-Blade burst. He look to snipe out EGM. BKB on X is a big item to note as well. But Undershock, I like this backline play from him. He's looking to get a stupid arrow to the back of one of the heroes on Alliance and maybe start the fight from there. The X-Mark though, gonna catch the Elder Titan, but a Chrono once again starting out perfect. Loader takes a 5-second arrow and here comes the crack. They might just kill him off there right away. There's the Aegis down though. The Chrono has been deployed for Aegis. EGM getting stunned up. He's running away. He's trying to run though. The Stomp comes in. Hanskin tried to go for some big plays there. Gets caught out now. Yoku gets caught by the Axe in return. Now he's dropping very low. Does he have enough damage? He pops the Eclipse. He gets dunked a little bit too late on the Eclipse there. Where is EGM running away with that Glimmer Cave? Undershock looking for him. Is he gonna find him though? Is the question. And Alliance, they lose no one, but they are all really, really low. And the Mirana gonna get caught out there by Limp gonna get caught out there by the Puck there. Undershock gonna try and run away from this. He blades himself. Yeah, he should be able to get out of there in time as Limp is unable to land the right click on him. Throws on an arrow, scouts forward, doesn't want to TP just yet. Wants to make more space, kill off the creep wave behind the tower, and prevent the Alliance from pushing up the high ground. Because the only way to push up the high ground is that. And now, without creeps, that's gonna be backdoor regeneration.
they all tried to teleport back to deal with the Mirana, and she just killed the 2 and then they all canceled their TP at the same time. So that was definitely something. Loda Aegis definitely getting some serious value there, and for Friends, that was an okay initiation. Like they caught 2 very important heroes, but the damage going into that Chronosphere was not enough. The Juggernaut lived through all of that because the rest of the Friends side weren't close enough to the Void to actually make use of that initiation. Luna didn't get into the middle of things. Mirana didn't get into the middle of things until much, much later in that fight. They needed them to be in there immediately. Undershock also in a little
And
bit of
that's why
trouble.
you get Aghanim Scepter and Luna. 2000 range, you'll never be out of the team fight.
Or you get Satanic on Luna, or
Yeah,
similarly
Satanic
both
I think
items.
is a very important item at this point. It could be time to sell the Dragonlance, as sad
Yeah.
it is. But yeah, it's very possible. And there you go. The Helm of the Dominator has been built there by the Luna, and she's gonna farm up the Satanic. I think the Satanic would have turned that fight around so hard because of that PKB. But now
They can't kill Luna with Satanic, like, unless they somehow insta-burst her or catch her in the call alone or something.
it's
It's just
Verona
too much health for her.
just clearing the creep waves in the back. So annoying for Alliance to do anything. So this is a really
They're
cool
always
lineup.
chasing after Undershock also. Blink Dagger, Leap. It's not easy to catch up to this Mirana, and Undershock has provided so much extra space for Friends. Not, hugely relevant space, but still just time to farm without being concerned about their own safety is, sometimes just going to be a relevant amount of gold increase. So Friends are holding in Alliance. That fight was pretty good for them. I would argue that at this stage of the game, it's just not good enough. They need to be a little more convincing in how they take fights. Otherwise, going up high ground, still not really easy inherently. It's going to be even harder if they can't win fights beforehand.
And the worst part about it is if they don't get a full wipe, they only get like a 3 for 2 or 2 for 2. That Chronosphere is always going to be ready because of that low cooldown now. So I really like the itemization from Void. We'll see if it is a mistake compared to something like a Diffusal Blade that helps in the Chrono for damage, purging of Gold Scepters. But well, we'll see if it's going to be fitting the plan here, as the waves constantly first push out. Radiant creeps don't stand a chance in this game.
And just like that, Undershot gets yanked right back towards top lane. Coddle level 2 in that spirit form, so recall, it's going to take a little bit shorter. I'm not sure if that's going to be relevant, but it's there. Yoku is at a point where he just bought out for a really expensive item in Satanic, so Alliance may not know about this, but if they do somehow kill off Yoku, their doors are wide open for Alliance to just push down any given lane and probably take Raxes. But again, as long as Friends are kind of nearby their Luna, it shouldn't be an easy kill for Alliance, or even a possible kill.
Well, we'll see. The Satanic is available now, so it's a big fight turner. And Alliance, I feel like the fights are getting less and less convincing for them. They are way ahead in kills, but it's getting less and less convincing. There was a point where I thought, oh, if Luna had this, he would have survived and would have turned the fight around. But now it's reaching that point. And the shot's going to go top to push out the waves. Coddle's going to bring him back with that constant Aghanims. It's now daylight, so Alliance getting the jump, it's going to be rough.
Witch Doctor's going in. Spotted, though. Oh, this is not good for Alliance.
EGM, please. EGM, no. Oh, it could be a big Chrono option. Oh, okay, always want to fly, getting hit. That EGM takes an arrow. Oh, this is a big chance for a Chrono. Afterlife, though, gets insta-hex. He's the one that was caught. I was waiting for that Chronosphere, but he's the one actually hexed up. EGM once again surviving on a drop of life. Yoku just standing and delivering. The Eclipse has been used there. It is actually disabling the Coddle's power during the duration, actually. I just realized. The Axe comes in, calls out, always want to fly in the middle of a big creep wave, but Jonathan Fan takes an arrow to the face. He might go down. EGM dropping low there. The Aghanim Scepter, how are they all surviving on one drop of HP? Now they're running away. Jonathan Fan is going to be the sacrificial lamb. And Yoku staying alive. The Satanic keeping him alive as we expected. And now Alliance are starting to lose grip as they do lose more gold. Giving up the axe compared to the Coddle and Void dying. So the gold graph is still in their favor. But at this point, is it that big a deal to have a little bit more gold than enemy when they have way better? Wow. Kunkka.
Yeah.
That's a lot of burst with
an
the
Ethereal Blade,
Dagon.
Dagon, Mirana.
Yeah. It's that kind of Mirana. Shotgun.
Just Mirana things. But, I mean, honestly, that fight for Alliance, that goes so much better than you would expect because Friends had complete vision over that entire thing. I mean, it's Keeper of the Light during daytime, so that shouldn't have been that bad for them. But the Luna was unable to actually get on top of a target. Everyone was kind of dancing around her. She did use her Satanic rather early, so Alliance could have, probably gunned for her a little bit harder. But it was really that Hex on the Faceless Void. He was out of position going for a Chronosphere. They saw it coming, and Faceless Void without Chrono means that Friends don't have that barrier of safety for their heroes. Despite that, Alliance still find themselves down 2 heroes, also because of that top lane Mirana play, and Yoku's doing some serious deeps. So this tower is gonna drop pretty rapidly. Once that happens, Manta Style, Glaives onto
Oh
the
wow.
Raxes.
Mirana
Hey,
just
Mirana,
got a huge
up,
shipment of weapons. And yeah,
Yoku's
the
sneaking out
shopkeeper got a
mid.
large order of Dagons. But yeah, look at that real estate just chip away. Look at the damage there. The X mark is gonna clear out the wave. They have a Kunkka though, so even if they do get mega, there's that option of a late game rapier play, right?
Well, Friends are looking for a kill right now.
Arrow, EGM, come on, EGM. That's not the first arrow he caught, man.
He has no buyback.
Yeah, someone's
This
gonna
could
have a
be
word
a
with him.
Rax play for Friends. Maybe several Raxes if they actually get a good angle here with the Faceless.
Yeah. How did this happen, man? Like, I don't know. It was Alliance's game, and then suddenly, this could be a Chrono on Loda. Loda has to be very careful. Gets stunned by the Lucent Beam. It's dropping very low. It has the Chrono. What is Loda doing? There's no one to save him. That's the thing. He shouldn't be pushing too far out. Has to respect the Chronosphere. He is worth the solo use. And now Lim, out of mana from that Mana Leak. The arrow's gonna land as well. It's a chain stun. The stun comes out with the Starstorm. And man, oh man, Undershock is coming back with revenge in style. Jonathan Fan comes in with the call. Buyback from the puck. Loda going in. He's taking quite a fair chunk of damage. This is his buyback life. He's getting blinded. Yoku restoring all his life. So much damage to Glaives. Come back and forth. The Moonwells takes him out, and Alliance suddenly lose their entire lineup. Jonathan Fan going down. Blocked by the Lincoln Sphere. No kill on the Mirana. Alright, now he kills him. But the Eclipse is coming down. Jonathan Fan stunned up. Mana leaked away. There is no running as he bleeds out the mana. The blue stuff goes out. He dies again. No buyback. And I'm afraid Alliance might have just lost the game there and then. Even the puck dying in the fountain there, the Mirana getting revenge there in style for that laning phase, going in there, blasting him up with that E-Blade Dagon combo, and Alliance in their debut game in the Dota 2 Champions League get knocked out in the BO1 round robins, and well, that was really unfortunate, as I thought the Sweet Stack were doing really well, but I guess is it fair to call them the Russians?
Friends? Yeah.
Yeah, the Russians.
I think
just,
so.
This proved
I
to be
think
more
one is
resilient.
not from Russia.
Hmm?
I think one of them's not from Russia, but they're all
Yeah,
from
but most
that
of them
area.
are from Russia, so.
Yeah.
Well,
But
that was quite the game.
for Alliance, you can't expect your draft to go that late. We're 52 minutes in. Juggernaut is, is reasonable. I would say kind of on par with what Friends have 1-to-1 with any one of their enemy cores. But Axe and Puck getting such a great early game doesn't translate well into the late game. They really, really had to push the issue a lot earlier to at least get a set of Raxes. But at a certain point, that Luna at the end just showed off like how grossly ahead she was. That was 4 heroes from Alliance beating down onto a Hex Luna, and they couldn't kill her. She just satanicked and then killed everyone else.
I mean,
So,
only Loda had the MKB, so
mhm.
the rest
Only
was
Loda had
magic
a
damage,
rifle
and she had like
damage.
3,500 health with Satanic on board. It was not an easy target to kill, and even if they don't kill her for a fraction of a second, they have to worry about their positioning as well because of Afterlife's chrono threat. He was 210 and 11. That game was not the game for him, but still, if they all converge on Yoku, they get hit by a chronosphere, they still die. So I also gotta give praise to the support lineup. Coddle, a lot of good blinding lights, buying Yoku those extra seconds to get his satanic up and restore his life and undoing all of Alliance's hard work. And friends, despite losing in terms of kills, they destroy Alliance in two decisive fights and take the game. So well, that was kind of a shame, I was really rooting for Alliance there.
Mhm.
The new lineup, it looked promising, especially with that early game Limp showing some promise in the mid lane as well, tearing apart that Mirana, and then some bad decision making here and there, and well, in the end, they dropped the game. So friends will progress forward in the best of threes, and Alliance will have to wait for the next opportunity to prove themselves with this new lineup. But hey, more time for scrims.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to whenever I see Alliance next. If they just have to, smooth the cracks out. They
Yeah,
can definitely go far.
definitely have to go far here, and yeah, maybe work out the kinks in their armor. But for now, we're gonna be signing off. That's the last game for tonight, guys. I'm Lysander. This is Michael Loris. You can check out our Twitters. You can tweet us your feedback. It's in the stream title. And thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. And we'll be right back tomorrow with best of three. So from here on out, there'll be no more BO1s. The Dota 2 Champions League will be BO3s. It's still gonna be single elimination, I believe. And but at least you have a best of three to prove yourself. So there's that. And we're gonna be signing off. There are two BO3s tomorrow, same time, 1800 CEST. So tune in if you want to catch more EU Dota action. And yeah, stay with us and follow our social media. Thank you guys for watching. And we'd like to thank Faceit as well as Epic Esports Events for running Dota 2 Champions League. And good night, guys. Be nice to one another. Much love and Kappa.